Here's an unfortunate truth. Just being a great nonprofit leader and good at what you do isn't enough anymore. People need to see that you're good at it. And by you, I mean you, the leader behind the mission. That's why personal branding has quietly become a huge part of nonprofit branding. And in today's world, invisible leaders don't get funded. Now, before you roll your eyes, this isn't about chasing likes or trying to be flashy. This is about visibility and credibility. The same way donors trust your nonprofit story, funders and partners trust you when they see you showing up as a confident, credible leader. So today I'm sharing my easy peasy 5C personal brand system. Trust me on this one. I have worked with hundreds of nonprofits, and I can tell you the leaders who get noticed are the ones who show up as thought leaders. Funders are Googling you and checking your LinkedIn, and what they find, that could be the reason you're missing out on funding. And it's not just nonprofit branding, it's personal branding now. And here's the mythbuster moment. No, you don't need thousands of followers. And no, you don't need to post selfies every day. You just need to show up with clarity, consistency, and a little courage. Now, one of my students hated the idea of self-promotion, but he started posting little lessons he was learning about being a founder in the mental health space on LinkedIn. Nothing fancy, just takeaways about what worked, what didn't, and what needed to change. A few months later, a government official reached out about a pilot project, not because of his nonprofit's page, but because he showed up as a thoughtful leader. That one connection turned into funding and a long-term partnership. And it doesn't have to stop there. I've seen founders get invited to panels or even land grants just because a funder saw them as a thought leader. Now imagine being the kind of leader funders already know and trust before you even step into the room. That's what's possible when you build your personal brand with a nonprofit twist. So how do you actually do it without it taking over your life? Well, let me introduce you to that 5C personal nonprofit branding system. It's simple, it's doable, and it works. Now, the first C is for clarity. When people know what you stand for, they remember you, recommend you, and yes, they fund you. That's why we need to decide what you want to be known for. It's about claiming the one lane of experience that makes people think of you first. So every post, every story, every conversation should point back to that as core identity. This is your why. Why does your work matter? Then pick your lane. Not 10 hats, not a laundry list, just the thing that you want to be remembered for. So here's a quick test. Ask yourself 3 questions. Who do I serve best? What problem am I solving? What result do I create that matters most? If you can answer those in one simple, plain English sentence, you've got your clarity statement. I did this exercise with another student of mine recently, and we'll use her as an example because she was perfect. She works in the domestic violence space. Yet she's a psychologist. So when we really drilled down to what mattered for her, what would help her nonprofit, and what she was passionate about, it's mental health around domestic violence. And here's the real trick. Say it out loud. If people lean in and ask, tell me more, you're on the right track. Clarity is so powerful because it sticks, and it's important because your next C is content. This is how you position yourself as a thought leader in your sector. And don't worry, it doesn't mean posting every day or going viral. Think of it this way. Document, don't create. So just share what you're already learning in the field. You don't need polished results. People connect just as much with the lessons that you've learned and then when things didn't go as planned. Maybe it's here's one thing I do differently if I could make real policy change. Or here's what surprised me about running our latest program. Those little nuggets are pure gold because they show you as a thoughtful, credible leader. Now, here's a formula I use. I use the 3E rule. Every post, article, or podcast, everything I do should either be educational, encouraging, or engaging. If it checks even one of those boxes, you're building your brand. And here's the magic touch. Add a story. Stats fade, but stories stick. So frame your story so that your donors, your community, or your cause is the hero, and you're the guide. That's what sparks conversation, and conversation is what makes you a thought leader. So next up is connections, because this builds your reputation before you even make an ask for donation, a partnership, or a policy change. Building a personal brand isn't just about what you post, it's about how you engage with others. So comment on sector trends, lift up other founders, donors, or stakeholders, tag your partners and celebrate them publicly. This simple act of engagement makes you visible as part of the bigger conversation. And here's a fun fact. 80% of your growth on LinkedIn comes from engaging, not posting. And the rule of thumb, give 10 thoughtful comments before you ever make one ask. Generosity builds goodwill and trust. And remember, depth beats volume. So pick 5 to 10 people in your space, like donors, grant makers, or policy changers, and consistently engage with them. That's how you build real relationships that open doors. And by the way, don't just say great work or fire emoji. Ask thoughtful questions that add to the conversation. That's how people see you as a thought leader, not just a bystander. Think of LinkedIn like a community potluck. Don't just bring your dish and walk away. Sample what others make, compliment them, and join the conversation around the table. And here's the bottom line. When you connect and engage with potential donors and funders online, you're building trust before you ever ask for support. That's the real secret sauce. The 4C is consistency, because this is how you show funders that you're reliable. And a pro tip, think the long game. Each piece of content is like a brick. One brick isn't much, but stack them up week after week, and you've built a platform people recognize and trust. So think of it like compound interest. One post won't change much, but 52 posts over a year, that can completely change how people see you as a leader. And here's the key. Pick a rhythm that you can actually sustain once a week, twice a month, even once a month, if that's all you can manage. Consistency always beats intensity, because funders don't just back good ideas, they back leaders they trust. And showing up consistently proves that you can be counted on. And don't forget to track what resonates. If people respond to your stories more than stats, lean into stories. Consistency isn't about doing the same thing over and over. It's about showing up steadily and improving as you go. And also, consistency isn't just about timing. It's also about your voice. So show up with the same voice each time, your values, your leadership, your tone. That's what builds trust. Now, before we move on to my favorite C, this is the perfect time to thank our video sponsor, Click and Pledge, for making this video possible. They are the all-in-one fundraising platform that can handle everything from high-converting donation pages and forums to campaigns like peer-to-peer, text-to-give, and even next-gen like Zoom and video. Plus, they have AI donation amounts built in, so this is a game changer. Now, they also have transparent pricing, fast payouts, rock-solid security, and seamless Salesforce integration. This platform is seriously designed to simplify your fundraising from A to Z. So check out Click and Pledge and see how they can elevate your fundraising. Now let's dive back in, because our last C is credibility, or social proof, or like I like to say, humble authority, because this proves you're not just saying it, that others are saying it about you. So start by collecting a few testimonials or recommendations on LinkedIn from people who know your work. So board members, donors, community partners, or peers. Social proof goes a long way in showing funders that you are respected and trusted in your field. Don't stop there. Borrow credibility by showcasing partnerships, collaborations, or even mentions in local media. If someone else celebrates you online, reshare it, because a compliment is 10 times more powerful when it comes from another voice. And when you share your own wins, frame them as community successes. So instead of "I secured a grant," say "Our team just secured funding to launch XYZ. Grateful for everyone who made it possible." That way you're celebrating progress while reinforcing your leadership in a humble, authentic way. You can also sprinkle in mini case studies. So for example, with last year's funding, we were able to serve 50 more families. So concrete results plus a story equals instant trust. These little credibility cues might feel small, but together they send a powerful message that you're a leader people can count on. So here's your homework. Start with just one step today. Maybe update your LinkedIn bio or share a lesson that you learned in the field. Don't overthink it, just show up. Because here's the truth. When funders see you as a credible leader, they don't just follow your nonprofit, they fund it. And if you want structure and support, that's exactly what I do inside my nonprofit coaching program. I don't just teach you how to raise money. I help you build the confidence and credibility to be seen, respected, and funded as the leader you already are. Now, once you've started showing up online, the next question is, how do I actually turn that visibility into dollars? And that's exactly what I'm covering in the video that's up next, building a fundraising strategy that every nonprofit needs. So make sure that you're subscribed, drop a comment, and like, which is the easiest way to support me. And I'll see you next week.